My stepkids are telling me that I'm useless, but I've been holding a secret right here in my heart, and I haven't told anybody that I'm rich, like really rich. And now they're trying to send me to an old age home because they said that I can't provide for them anymore. Well, guess what, guys? Here I come. My so-called children are now saying that I'm a burden to them, and I now regret raising them. I do not know where I've gone wrong as a parent with these children. I've given them love, provided for them, and made sure that they never lacked anything. I treated them just like my own children, even though they were not. Now, even spending a day with me is a waste of their time, and I'm so lonely now that I'm unable to work. All I do is spend time with my children, but they don't want to spend time with me. My brother told me that I spoiled them too much, and I did not pay heed to his warning. I never wanted them to feel absent of a father. I wanted them to be happy all the time. When I met them, they were merely 10 years old and 12 respectively, Jodie and James. That's their names, and they are my second wife's children, and now they're 21 and 19. She, on the other hand, is 44, and she had them while young and could not fulfill her dreams. Her husband went off to serve in the army and, well, unfortunately never came back. When I met her, my first marriage had failed. My ex-wife and I had too many fights. Disagreements, you could say, about how to raise our children, among other things. That was mainly due to us being from different religions. She got full custody of the kids, and I got to see them for a couple years, and then we just lost contact. I sent money for years, but she never responded to me, and the one time that she did, it's to tell me that the kids wanted nothing to do with me. Since my bio kids hated me, even though I did nothing to them, when Mary came into my life with these two, I showered them with all my love. I worked hard just to build us a big home, to make sure that they went to the best schools and were there for their milestones. James was very smart and managed to skip a couple of grades now. He has a very good position in his company and has just gotten a promotion. He is also engaged to his longtime girlfriend. He moved out not so long ago, and I've barely seen him since. Jodie, on the other hand, is in college. She's doing very well for herself and has made me very proud at each turn. As for my wife, she's still working. She still has about 20 good years in her, and I really envy her for her youth. She's still able to do many things that I simply can't. I don't see her all the time, especially now that I've retired and I'm not allowed to work and have been searching for hobbies for a while. There's not much to do with my life now that I don't have work. I work so much over the years that I don't even know who I am without work. So, over the past few weeks, I've tried to spend more time with the family. I visited James a couple of times over the months. We played our favorite board games, cracked a few beers, and told me about his life. I realized that there was so much that I didn't know about him. It felt good to spend time with him and got to know the adult that was becoming of him. Then Jodie came home from a college break. She would not leave her room for the most part. She's become difficult, and I'm not sure if it's college that's changing her. She's very antisocial and would rather spend her time eating junk food, playing loud music. I was concerned, so I tried to ask her if we could talk for a bit. She told me that she was very busy and had a friend to see. That's what she told me all the time, but she never left the room. So I switched off the Wi-Fi and watched her come down the stairs fuming. I found it quite humorous and asked what it was that took her to spend a bit of time with her old man. She scowled and told me that what I did was hardly funny and I was being so annoying. I tried to apologize, but she went on a rampage. She told me that I had to get a life now that I was not working, and all I did was walk around and annoy her. She told me that James was too polite to say it, but I was preventing him from having a life. She drove the nail in by saying that her brother had other things to do in his life than spending time with a useless old man. I had to stop her right there. I told her to look around this house and then call me useless one more time. I've worked my fingers to the bone to take care of this family. The little car that she was always bragging about was bought by me. I financed her yearly trips out of the country with her buddies, and I made sure that she has always had happy times. And the worst part is that I've been there for her when she struggled with anything big or small. She struggled with her grades, and she was in middle school, and I noticed that she was struggling with the learning style that the teachers were using. So, I got her to a specialist who was able to tell us that she had dyslexia. I paid someone to help her study in a style that suits her, and when she came home crying and would not tell either of us what the problem was, I let her cry. I watched Beauty and the Beast with her so many times that I stopped counting. Now, here she was telling me that I'm useless. To say that it broke my heart would be an understatement. I walked out of the house after that and went on a drive just to clear my mind. I messaged my brother and asked him how busy he was these days. He told me that his week was not looking that busy, so I asked if I could visit him for a week. I was feeling so depressed and alone, yet I was supposed to have a family, so I spent the past week with my brother. My brother works in a corporate world, but works very few hours a week. He does some freelance type work, has a modest house, and enjoys fishing. He has no wife or children to speak of. He chose the life of a bachelor. It was nice to spend the weekend with him, fishing, catching up on life, and forgetting what awaited me at home. While we were there, he mentioned that the years were passing and maybe I should look into my ex-wife and kids again. Maybe I could rebuild my relationship with them. I told him flat out that those kids hated me and would not want me a part of their life. He told me that I was getting old and that I would regret not seeing them when I was on my deathbed. Those words resonated with me and were on my mind when I came back. I got a message from my wife as soon as I landed. She said that we needed to have an important discussion when I get back, and I came home, took a bit of a nap, and waited for her to come back from work. When I woke up, I heard James and Jodie's voices. I was happy to hear that they were here, and they had not been responding to my messages over the week. We all sat down, had a bit of tea, and then my wife started to talk. She said that she and the kids had been talking and that they felt I needed to go and stay in a complex for people of a mature age. I asked if they meant an old age home. They told me no. They just meant a place with people my own age. They said that they felt guilty that they could not spend time with me, so they thought of a place where I could be able to spend time with people my own age. So, what were they telling me? Was that they did not have patience for their own father? Well, I guess I should have seen that one coming. I told them that there would be no such thing, and then I left them sitting there. I've not spoken to them since then, and I don't even want to look at their faces. I'm 66. I can take good care of myself. Why would I need to go to an old age home? What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. Today's story is about to get really, really crazy. We're going to look at a few updates, but just a first reminder, if you want to support the channel, the best way to do it is super fast and super easy. All you gotta do is hit that subscribe button underneath this video. Let's go ahead now and jump into update number 1. So here I was thinking that the discussion about the old age home was done. I had no idea that I was about to face the biggest betrayal from those whom I call my family. Now, well, that I'm old, and they feel that I'm of no use to them. They want to abandon me and not visit me? I had a friend whose family put him in an old age home. They didn't visit him in the years that he was there. I saw him a couple times, and every time I saw him, he looked thin and sad. He told me that being in that place was killing him, knowing that he had a large family outside who viewed him as a burden. He passed away not so long after, and a lot of people say that it was old age, but I feel that it was due to sadness. Now they want to subject me to that. I'm fully functioning adult, and I don't need somebody to care for me. I want them to treat me the same way that they used to treat me. My wife tried to explain everything to me after the end of that discussion. She said that we were, well, the facts. I was not working. I was not bringing any income into the family, and all I had was my pension. Soon she would not, well, be able to do this and have to take over everything in the house because she was more than the capable parent. She said that she did not want to burden me with doing so much when I was getting old. I looked her dead in the eyes and asked her what we said in our vows. We said that in sickness and in health, and I was certainly not sick. I just wanted to spend more time with my family and feel appreciated by them. Instead, both children are acting like I didn't raise them. They are being rude and are speaking to me like a child, and frankly, it makes me so angry and so mad. The fact that my wife is supporting them is so crazy. So, she thinks that I should just be put in an old age home and be forgotten about. Maybe my brother was right about contacting my biological kids. Surely they would not want to send me to an old age home. Surely they would not call me useless. Now I regret not staying in contact with them. I regret not trying harder. I wonder how much the damage is done. I just wonder how much they hate me, and if it's too late for me to try to fix things with them. I have no idea, so we shall have to see when I contact them. I feel like a trip out of the country. Update number 2. Within the past 2 weeks, I've been called every name under the sun by my so-called children. Mary, on the other hand, has grown to resent me and has called me selfish because I refuse to leave them. It's not just about that, it's about the fact that I will lose part of my freedom. Oh, and the great part was that they said I was not even contributing to the family. They laughed at the amount I got from my pension and said that it looked like their holidays were about to be cut short. When they visited, they ignored me and only paid attention to their mother. It hurt. It did, for I had given so much to them. All my love, and now they were just throwing it back at me. The turning point was when my wife filed to have me taken to an old age home. She tried to get a court order, citing that she was unable to take care of me and it was emotionally straining to her. I did not expect her to pull such a stunt. I thought we made vows that we would always be with each other. When we got married, I told her the truth. I was older and would grow old before her. I'd probably die before her too, and was she comfortable with that truth? She claimed to me that she was very, very comfortable with the truth, and it was a lie. Now, she was trying to get the law involved so that she could force me out of my own home. Suddenly, I got to thinking, maybe there's someone new in her life, and she's trying to get me out of the picture, using my age as an excuse. Or maybe she was using me for all those years and now she wants to just discard me. Or wait, it's because she thinks that I'm broke? What she does not know is that over the years I've saved so much money and put them into an investment fund. When I asked my boss for my pension fund last year, I got a lot of it in a trust and I plan to split the money amongst my family in my will. I didn't tell anybody how much I stashed away. It's a lot of money and could make a difference in anybody's life. I couldn't believe that I was going to give those brats millions. It's such a good thing that they've shown me their true colors before it's too late. At least now I can see that they don't really love me. They're spoiled brats who only love me for my money. Wait till they see what I've planned for them. They might think that I'm old, but my mind is sharp. Update number 3. 1 month later. So, I took a month-long sabbatical from my second family and decided to brave my past. I reached out to my bio children, Indra and Mason. Both of them are still in their mother's country and they were shocked to hear from me but were willing to hear me out. So, I told my family that I had a very important trip planned and when I came back, we would finally resolve the matter. I asked Mary not to escalate the matter of trying to send me to an old age home because I believed that we would come to a solution. My month here has been fruitful. I've gotten to know my children. They turned out really well. Indra is a medical doctor while Mason works in computer science. They're both married and have children, live modest lives, and have good character. They said that it would take them a while to forgive and get used to the idea of me being in their life, but they're willing to try. Their mother was not a big fan of it happening, though, but she said that it was their choice. She still resents me for the reasons unknown to this day, but the highlight of this all was the activities I got to do with them. With their busy schedules, they managed to make time for me. They took turns staying with me at their houses. I got to play with my grandbabies, something that I never dreamt of. They did not seem annoyed with me when I had a request or wanted to talk to them. They were actually interested in getting to know me. They did say that they resented the fact that I moved on with my family just like that and did not make more of an effort to see them. I told them that I thought they hated me. I wrote so many letters to them that were not even sent over the years. I could not bring myself to send them and got an angry response back, or no response at all. But now I've realized time is not on my side anymore, and I needed to deal with my past. The month I've spent with them has been the best month one could ever hope for. It makes me very hopeful for the future, and it makes me think about what I should do next. This is the only right thing that I should do. I have to do this, otherwise Jodie and James will be spoiled forever. They'll never learn how to treat people right, and they will never have proper ethics. I should have done this a long time ago, but tonight was the best night for me to do it. I did not even want to do it so soon, but they pushed the wrong buttons on the worst day possible. They had no idea what I have been contemplating about for months now, but they made it that much easier for me to make a decision regarding the future. James came over for dinner, and Jodie's going back to college in a bit. She said that she had something to ask from us as her parents. We told her to feel free to ask for anything. We are, after all, her parents. She then said that she wanted to have a week away on a yacht for her 20th birthday, then proceeded to say a crazy amount of money that I'm sure I was mishearing. I told her that if she got a job while studying, maybe she would make that amount in 4 years. James laughed and said he told her not to ask me. After all, I was just leeching off Mother. I was practically broke. He then asked what it was like seeing my biological family and asked if they would do the favor of taking me from them. Imagine the son that I raised being this cold to me. Well, I'll be damned. I told him that I could afford that week on a yacht if I wanted to. However, I don't feel like Jodie earned it. Her grades were not good, and she had been very rude to me over the summer. Also, how did he even know where I went? He had no answer for that. My wife, Mary, then told me that I was being too harsh on her, and I should consider it. I told her to pay for the trip if she wanted to please her daughter. She laughed and asked where she would get the money. She wished that I've been more responsible with my money. I told her I've been more than responsible. I told her that I've been waiting to reveal to them all about my multi-million-dollar inheritance that they would receive when I was no more. Their jaws dropped, for they were not expecting that, and my wife asked me why I never said anything about it. I told her that I wanted to announce it to the family at Christmas. However, the way that Jodie and James have been acting has made me question whether I even want to leave money to them or not. I then told her that I was not going to leave any cent to her spoiled brats. They had shown their true colors to me. In fact, I was cutting them out of my life. She asked what I meant by that. I told her that Jodie was not to live in this house anymore, and I was not going to pay her allowance as well. I also told James that he had to take all the stuff that he had left in the house out, and I didn't want to hear a creep out of him after that. I also told them that I was taking back the vehicles I've purchased for them. Anything that I've paid for, actually, and was still paying for would be returned to me. It was time that they worked hard for their own things, and I told them both that they had until tomorrow to get their stuff out of my home. My wife, Mary, told me that I was being incredulous by kicking her children out. I told her that she should have thought about that and taught them how to respect their elders. This was her fault for enabling their treatment of me. I told her that she could join them if she wanted. Tonight, I'm sleeping in the guest room. I want them out by tomorrow. Update number 4. It's now been a week since they left the house, and I've been in the hospital for a bit. I had a very bad fever a couple nights ago and ended up going to the hospital because I could not sleep. And I was in so much pain, my doctor told me that I was stressed and probably needed a vacation. How can I not stress after the week that I've had? It's been quite eventful. They tried everything to get me to change my mind after they found out that I was not useless after all. I mean, with millions on the line, who would not try to grovel? And grovel they did. They told me that they were under the impression that they did not mean to treat me like that. They were under pressure. I told them that they had a chance to apologize many, many months ago. It was clear that they just wanted the money and were not even subtle about it. It solidified my decision when I walked in on them discussing me when they were packing their stuff. They said that I would regret it and I would die alone, old and lonely. They also said that at least they did not have to be stuck with me and my boringness. Their mother would sue me for half the money anyways, and they would be living grand. So that was the plan, huh? She wanted to sue me for the money that I worked hard for? Yeah, good luck, not likely. I was on the phone with the lawyer as soon as they were gone. I spoke to him about my options and if I wanted to protect my estate, maybe transfer it to my biological kids. Well, sure enough, she came back from wherever she was later on and she was quite fuming and kept telling me that she did not believe how I could do that to her. She felt that I was being very selfish and was mad that I kept the money from them. I kept the money from them because I wanted it all to be a surprise. I just had no idea it would be a blessing in disguise because they would be all failing of the test. She left soon after and went to her sister's, and the next day I woke up to a message she sent at 4 a.m. She told me that she was going to take me to court and take me for everything that I had. She wished that she had accepted the advances of her instructor because being with an old man like me was starting to feel boring. She said that she was too young for this, and she only settled for me because not a lot of men were willing to take care of her kids. She wished that her husband had never left her so that she would have to marry a desperate old man like me. She also added that she never loved me. I was just safe. But safe was boring and she really wanted to live her best life. Her message contained a lot of spelling errors, and there were some swear words and repeated phrases that made me think and, well, knew that she wrote the message drunk. So, I gave her the benefit of the doubt and did not respond. I was sure that if she came to her senses and agreed to discipline those two, we could work on things. A couple days later, I was served divorce papers, and it was official. She wanted to leave me. I sat them down for a short time, and as I thought about what it meant to me, I then decided that it was better for me to be alone than be with somebody who didn't love me. In addition, I still have my 2 biological children who have been so good to me. They've messaged and called me every day since I came back to town, and it's not been difficult for me to make the decision. I'm going to leave the money to them. I'm going to talk to my lawyers, have them draft up the papers, and make it all official. I know they have good heads on them, and even if they don't, at least they are my blood. I'm also hoping that it'll, make up for all those years when I wasn't able to be there for them. So I fancy myself a holiday after I've been discharged. We'll go see my children, and then who knows what'll happen afterward. Update number 5. A month later, I have just gotten news that my first wife passed away. It was truly shocking, and I had to escalate my trip to go see my bio children. I got on the first flights I could find as soon as I heard, and I arrived to find my children distraught. My ex-wife wanted a cremation, so we did that. Her funeral was quick and very few people attended, but what shocked me the most was when James came to say condolences. I had no idea that he was even in the country. How did he even know my biological kids? I did not want to say anything in case I ruined the night, and I told him to behave and stay away from my kids. A while later, he was fighting with my son, and I went over to try to stop the fighting. James said that my biological children were gold diggers, and they did not really love me. I asked him to stop and to leave, and I told him it was already stalkerish to come to the funeral. He also had no right to shout at my children, and he got all of my time growing up and they did not. James kept on shouting at my son and things got heated. The next thing I know, they're outright fighting, and I tried to break it up, I really did, which is how I ended up on the floor, my ankle in pain and feeling a sharp pain in my chest. My vision became blurry and I passed out. When I came to, they said it was just shock. I was happy to find out that James had left after my son threatened to get him arrested. I sent his mother a very stern message, telling her that I would not accept such tantrums from him, and when he thought I had nothing, he would not give me the time of day. Now that he knows how much was at stake, he suddenly wanted to attend my ex-wife's wedding. I told her to try me. I would get him banned from the country, which would mess with his career. And she told me to buzz off. She had nothing to say to me, and she was living her best life. Well, guys, I'm getting discharged in a few days. From here, I'll still, stay with my daughter. She really wants to nurse me back to health, and I think at this time being around my family is what I need. I can't believe that after all these years we're finally united. Fate is a strange thing, but it can be a very, very good thing, and I thank my brother Mark for pushing me to seek out my children. Update number 6. 7 months later, final update posted by OP. Hey guys, it's been quite some time since the update, and I've been well after the health scare. It gave me a new lease on life and appreciation for living. It made me realize that I've not done anything for myself in a long time. So, I started making plans to make my final decades the best that they can be. It's time for a new era. An era that's all about me, moi. Sure, I'll visit family here and there, but I've decided to find myself. Mary and I have split, and we're in the process of divorce, and she's dragging her feet. That is on her, and I don't even care. Whether she moves on or not is her own business. I sold the house and the cars that I bought for those two, and I just removed all of them from my medical aid and life insurance completely. After selling the house, I talked to an old friend who owns a boat. For the past 6 months, I've been on the sea. I've been meeting new people, eating new cuisine, and feeling like I'm alive again. I've not once thought about my second family throughout these 6 months. It's just been me, myself, and I. I love it. So OP ends up riding off into the sunset on that boat and is going to spend the rest of his days at sea. I do want to know one part of the story that wasn't really talked about very much. We did not understand why OP was so separated from his biological kids at first, which led him to the second family that he had. I wish OP would have just dove a little deeper into the fact that he said his kids hated him, but we didn't really know the full story why. It leaves you with your brain wondering, but anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts of this story, what you would have done in this position, and exactly what do you think of how this one ended. Drop your comments downstairs in the comment section. I want to know your exact thoughts. Guys, if you want more daily videos, go ahead, click that subscribe button. It does support the channel a lot, and I appreciate that. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you tomorrow, and just remember, it's cool to be kind. Peace.